Great to have you here today. I got a special guest with me, a good buddy of mine, Casey Vansel, a fellow Kentuckian. He grew up there, and he is a really good player. Played on the mini tours, now got his amateur status back, and I got to tell you, he is pretty daggone good with these wedge shots. And I wanted to show you some of the secrets, some of these pro secrets that he does so well to incorporate those into your game. And we're going to do that by hitting about a 50-yard shot here. So let's go ahead and just set up to one, and let's make a few swings. Let me grab you a towel so you can clean off that club between shots. But what do you try to think of? So here, you know what you said earlier that I really liked is you try to like kind of flight it down a little bit and keep your body moving through the shot. You feel like that's a big key?
Like to keep rotation going through, accelerate. It's one of the biggest things I used to struggle with was decelerating at the ball, taking too big of a backswing. So I like to focus on acceleration and really just dialing in where I think the ball needs to land.
Okay, so go ahead and hit a couple, and I loved it because when he was saying that, I was like, yeah, that's the biggest key for everybody to work on. So notice how as he comes back, he's not gonna go quite as far back, and he's gonna really accelerate through the shot. And that was an awesome trajectory there. So has to hit it just a little tiny bit harder to get it all the way there. But that's the real, if you watch these shots, they're gonna take off low and be really penetrating. That's the key for really good wedge players. They're gonna get that flighted down like that. So two pretty nice shots there. So notice how he's always feeling like he's being aggressive through that shot and hitting through it. A good rule of thumb for that is, you know, here he's probably taking about a half of a backswing. Just make sure as you come through that you're gonna accelerate and go at least that far on the way through, if not a little bit farther than that. So your follow through is slightly longer than your backswing. It doesn't have to be that extreme. Even if you make the same length back and through, you want to feel like I'm very aggressive through there. And clean off the club face there. You'll notice some of these really start to grab and spin. The only way you can get spin on them is to really be aggressive through the shot and really try to add speed, you know, coming through there. Now, one other cool thing that I love that he does, and he's one of the best at this, is he's going to open the face. And most of the time when people see an open face like this, so if this is square, you see my club's square, his is almost 15, 20 degrees open. They think, oh, this is gonna be a high shot. Well, he's not hitting these shots high, he's hitting these very low and penetrating. What he's doing there is as he's rotating through, he's keeping the entire right side of his body kind of moving through the shot, and the face is actually gonna be closing down and squaring up. So show him one where you get to impact. So this is addressed. When you get to impact, the right side's coming through, and notice how the face starts to like, so if it starts out here where it's a little open, as he comes through with the right side, it actually squares back up and gets it low. But it helps to engage the bounce a little bit more. And notice how when he hits this one, again, very low penetrating shot. Yeah, awesome one there. Just got a bad bounce. The greens are punched. So we're not quite getting the zip on them that we could if we had new, fresh greens. But that was hit really, really well. So another thing that I really like is watch his knees. You'll notice that his knees pivot. You don't want to keep the legs still. As he follows through, you'll see his right knee almost goes facing to the target. And go ahead and hold your finish after you hit this one. Ooh, that was good. That was really good. And that had a ton of spin on it. Look how his right knee here is almost in front of his left toe. And you look at his heel, I could put an entire club under his heel. That's really key. A lot of times I'll see players that fall back, and what ends up happening is you drop kick it. So you imagine if you fall back on your right side, you keep that heel down. Now all of a sudden my low point is moving from the middle of my stance to the back of my stance, and I end up drop kicking it. I hit it thin, I hit it way too high. It's just inconsistent. So that was awesome spin on that one. Reason we're cleaning the club here is if you want to get a lot of spin on it, you really want to be a precise wedge player, this thing's got to be really clean, like you could eat off of it. I'd say, a lot of times I say, it's not really true because I've eaten off a lot dirtier things than you need your club to be if you're going to get a ton of spin. I'm talking one blade of grass, you got to wipe that off there, any kind of residue at all, get that thing really dry, it grooves really clean, and it can really spin a ton there. Now finally, what you'll notice is that I love about this too, is when he finishes, it's going to be very still. So on this one, go ahead and hold your follow through again. Yeah, awesome there. And you'll notice how this club doesn't really move. He's coming to his follow through position, it just settles into it, and it doesn't move from there. What I see with players that are inconsistent, they hit that follow through position, they're all falling back or moving around all over the place. There's actually a pretty cool thing that happens here is when you hold your finish, you actually have more time to feel what you did in the shot that you just hit before you go on to the next one. So what I mean by that is, if I move to here and I pause, my eyes are seeing where that shot went, and I can still feel what I just did inside my body. If I move here and then move all around and lean all over the place and take 5 steps and I'm falling back and doing all that, I can't even remember what it just felt like in my swing, and I'm not going to be able to be as fine-tuned. I'm not going to be able to adjust on the next swing as well. So every single good wedge player, go watch on the PGA Tour, and what you're going to see every single time, watch his finish again. Notice how smooth he goes into the finish, and then notice how he holds that the whole way. There's no extra motion there at all. So he's really holding that finish. Now the last part I like, this last kind of pro tip, we're getting really advanced on it. You mentioned earlier that you really kind of like to drive that right side of the body through.
That's right.
And it's almost like that wedge face being a little bit open. As he drives the right side through, it squares the face up and keeps everything moving through the shot. So that right side driving through, and watch his, particularly your right shoulder, you do this as good as anybody. His right shoulder keeps on moving all the way through, and it's almost going to be facing toward the target a little bit as he hits the follow through. So notice how his right shoulder is all the way up here in line with his front foot. Again, if you're falling back, that right shoulder stays like this and it doesn't rotate all the way around. Now, if you're wanting to dial in those wedges, one way that the PGA Tour players get so precise, we're 50 yards out here. How is it that good wedge players can hit at 50 and they hit at 70 and they hit at 30, and how do they know how to judge those distances? Well, one of the best ways, and Casey, you mentioned that you did this also, is by the clock swing and judging how far you're taking the club back and through to judge your distances. But most people, to be honest, don't teach it the right way, because you can make the same length backswing and hit it a lot of different distances. I have a bonus video that I'm gonna play for you here in a second. And in that video, I'm gonna reveal to you the key to making that work. So if you start doing these clock swings and you get the timing down like I'm gonna teach you in this video, that's when your precision really gets tight. So best of luck. Go ahead and click the card that pops up in your screen. If you don't see one of those cards, when this preview plays here in a second, just go ahead and down in the link below in the description and click the link there, and you're gonna get this full bonus video. I'm gonna teach you the clock swing the right way, and you're gonna get super, super tight with your distances. You're gonna have a lot more birdie opportunities from those wedges. All right, let's go and get started. I used to actually practice a lot in high school. This is one of my favorite things to do. I had a strip mowed down the back of my yard where I took the lawnmower. My parents probably hated this because I mowed it down to like 1/2 inch turf in the back of the yard because we lived on a farm, and I would set buckets or towels along this, and I would try to set them at those distances that I knew. And maybe I knew my 56 degree went right at 65 yards. I'd set a bucket 65 yards away, and I would go ahead and do my 9 o'clock swing, and I would try to fly it right into the bucket. And get to where I could tell for sure if I was going to be a couple yards short or a couple yards long, just because it gets so ingrained when you get the rhythm and the finish the same every time. So we can use different length backswings to control the distance of our wedge shots. So for example, if we imagine that I'm a clock and 6 o'clock is directly down, my wedge would be at 6 o'clock, or my arms would be at 6 o'clock, I can go back to a 7:30 swing and I can have the same finish and hit at a certain distance, or I can go back to 9 or 10:30 and swing through to the same distance, and that's going to control, or the same finish point, and that's going to control the distance that my wedge shots are going to fly in the air. And I've got to keep that rhythm and that tempo very, very consistent. If I vary my tempos, I can hit at all kinds of different distances. So for example, I could have a real quick tempo 7:30 swing and probably hit this 90 yards. I could have a, maybe not really that far, probably 50 or 60 yards. I could have a very slow tempo 7:30 swing and hit half that distance. So I've got to get my distance the same. I've got to get my rhythm the same. That's the real key to it. And the second piece on there